this is Etherwood and I'm here to talk about my Hospital Summer Mixtape. I used to make a lot of mixtapes when I was a kid. It was one of my favourite things to do. Used to tape the radio in the top 40, and when I was in school I used to make mixtapes to try and woo girls a lot of the time because I thought it was cool. They always didn't think it was cool, but yeah, it was one of my favourite things to do. And I used to make little artwork for the sleeves and stuff as well. I really went all out on mine. In hindsight, it's probably a little bit too much. But yeah. When Hospital asked me to make this mixtape, it was awesome. It was a real honour because it gives me massive creativity and freedom to select a load of tracks and to really get creative with it, basically, and make the mix. So it was really cool. I knew it would be something that we'd all feel pretty strongly about, and it's nice to do like an artist-led thing, I think, as well. So yeah, it was very exciting. It's been awesome. It's been a great, fun project. I started collecting some tracks for the mixtape from a lot of the tracks in my library that I already loved. Tracks that were all the tracks quite recently released. And then with the Hospital guys, they had a massive demo pot obviously, and we were sharing ideas and they were sort of making suggestions, and we took it from there really. Starting off with such a big pot of tunes and trying to condense it to fit on the mixtape was pretty tough, I have to say. There were so many tracks that I loved and so many tracks that we had in the pot that we really wanted to use, but I think the thing it boiled down to was how well they fitted in the mix. So that was the most important thing. So it was more about throwing tracks into the mix and seeing how they work together next to each other and side by side, and then the flow of the mix as well. So that was when I started really getting into it. That became slightly easier in that respect. So, but there was still a number of tracks that I absolutely loved that didn't quite fit in the mix somewhere. So I'd like to have used all of the tracks, but we couldn't do it. So, but I'm pleased with what we got. So it's cool. My favourite track on the mixtape is probably a Hugh Hardy track called Kyoto City. It's got a really great vibe to it, and I love the mix down on it. And he's a guy who's just starting to make a real name for himself. That's one that stands out for me. And there's also a Kino track that hasn't been released yet called Sleeplessness. Kino and Winey actually, and that's awesome. It's another one of my favourites. Both very much in my sort of area of sort of love of drum and bass, definitely. Rules for making a good mixtape. I would say that diversity is actually a strong factor. It's a mix of tracks, so you need something that sort of caters for a lot of different moods. I'd say you've just got to put in tracks that you love. That's at the end of the day. Just be passionate about the tracks you've got on there and try and inject some of yourself into the mixtape and hope that everyone else enjoys it as much as you do. My top 5 Hospital tracks of all time would have to be Piano Anthem by Sonic, I think, Notes from the Block by Logistics and Ill Skills. That's one that I would imagine not many people might know, so check that one out definitely. Just 1 Second by London Electricity, just because it's a beautiful song. It was one of the first songs I really fell in love with. Drum and bass tracks. Camera and Crooked, Turn Up the Music, have to be in there. That's still my favourite song of theirs. Say Hello, Wave Goodbye by New Tone. And yeah, I think that's 5, isn't it? Yeah, wicked. You can catch me playing at the next med school event, which is at the Columbian at Corsica Studios, along with all the other med school guys on Friday the 23rd of May. And to grab a copy of the mixtape, head over to iTunes or the Hospital shop.